The history of types of governments is a chronicle of humanity's evolving attempts to organize societies, manage resources, and maintain order. Over millennia, various forms of governance have emerged, reflecting changes in social structures, economic conditions, and cultural values. In ancient times, tribal societies typically operated under simple forms of governance, often led by chieftains or elders. These leaders held authority based on their wisdom, strength, or lineage. As human societies grew more complex, so did their governmental structures. The earliest known civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, developed centralized states ruled by monarchs or pharaohs. These rulers often claimed divine right, and their governments were typically supported by a class of priests and scribes who managed administrative tasks and religious ceremonies. The classical period saw the emergence of new forms of government, particularly in Greece and Rome. Ancient Greece is famed for the development of democracy, particularly in the city-state of Athens in the 5th century BCE. Athenian democracy was a direct form of governance where citizens participated in decision-making assemblies. Conversely, Sparta had an oligarchic system, governed by a small group of elites. The Roman Republic, established in 509 BCE, combined elements of democracy and oligarchy. It featured elected representatives and a complex system of checks and balances, including the Senate and popular assemblies, which allowed for greater civic participation compared to monarchies. The medieval period in Europe saw the dominance of feudalism, a decentralized form of governance where local lords held significant power over their lands and vassals. The king's authority was often more symbolic, reliant on the loyalty of these lords. Meanwhile, in the Islamic world, the caliphates emerged, centralizing political and religious authority under leaders who were considered successors to the Prophet Muhammad. The Byzantine Empire preserved Roman imperial governance with a strong centralized bureaucracy, while also incorporating Christian orthodoxy into its administrative and legal systems. The rise of nation-states in the early modern period marked another significant transformation. Absolute monarchies became prevalent, particularly in France under Louis XIV, where kings held near total control over the state. However, the Enlightenment brought new ideas about governance, emphasizing reason, individual rights, and the separation of powers. These ideas influenced the development of constitutional governments, most notably in the United States with its democratic republic established by the Constitution in 1787. And in France following the French Revolution, which sought to limit monarchical power and promote civic equality. The 20th century witnessed a diversification of government types, from liberal democracies to totalitarian regimes. Liberal democracies, characterized by free elections, civil liberties, and political pluralism, became widespread, especially after World War II. In contrast, totalitarian states like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union exerted extreme control over all aspects of life. The latter half of the century also saw the rise of socialist and communist governments, particularly in Eastern Europe, Asia, and parts of Latin America, advocating for state control of resources and production. In summary, the history of types of governments is a dynamic narrative of how human societies have organized themselves to address the challenges of governance, justice, and resource distribution. From tribal chieftains to modern nation-states, each form of government reflects the cultural, economic, and philosophical contexts of its time.